guests wander around the orchard, and especially the Asians, they come back with their cell phone. Oh, what's this plant? What's this plant? What's this fruit? So I've drawn up a little map here and key of most of my plants and orchards. In the corner here is my best cherimoya. I see I've got one fruit left on here which yesterday was untouched. Wow. But just overnight, someone this year has been eating them. I've never had this problem before. It's been here like 10 years. I'm not sure whether it's rats, possums or rosellas. Rosellas hammer my pears every season for some reason. But I haven't heard any, so it's either rats or possums doing that. That's just overnight, because it was fine yesterday when I checked it.
No.
So I'm not sure what variety this one is of cherimoya, but I've got another cherimoya over there which is your bronzeadia, or however you pronounce it, which is what most of my seedlings are. So I don't like growing something to sell or give away, which I don't know what the variety name is.
No.
That's the last one.
How many fruit have you had off that size tree?
So
Just one there.
for those in the know of cherimoyas, they benefit hugely from hand pollination. So 2 years ago I hand pollinated this one quite aggressively, and I got maybe, I don't know, 20 to 30 fruit that size off it. So last season I thought I won't pollinate it and we'll see what difference it makes. And this year I only got maybe, I don't know, 6 or 8 that size. The rest were all quite small. There was a small one up there the other day, so obviously falling down. So yeah, very less crop this year by not hand pollinating. So I'll definitely hand pollinate in the future. So those should start flowering soon. They're starting to come now. That's some flower there.
And does pruning it back help with the fruiting as well?
No, I've never pruned it.
Okay.
So I can't. I'm told pruning helps them bush up, but I haven't pruned that one. And again, that's 10 years old. But yeah, hand pollination, that's sort of been pretty average of what I'd get, and I'd get 20 or 30 of those in the last 3 years of hand pollinating. And this one here is a seedling from the other cherimoya over the fence there. It hasn't flowered or fruited yet, but I'm hoping I might spit out some flowers this year, but if not, then certainly next year. It's been in the ground 2 years. So it was about yay high when I planted it, so that's 2 years growth. So yeah, I thought putting it next to this cherimoya might help with pollination. So the flowers are quite narrow trumpet-like, so bees and bumblebees can't get down inside it. So it's only pollinated by things like fruit flies or very small beetles. So when I've been hand pollinating them, I'll be chasing these really tiny beetles about 1 millimetre across out of it. And some people say put banana skins in your tree to bring the fruit flies around, which will then help crawl into the flowers. So I've been told. Who wants to carry that around, or I'll leave it sitting on the ground for now?
Pick it up afterwards.
Yeah, so I've got a couple of watermelons in here. That's yuck on there. This one still isn't as big as I thought I'd get. This one gets maybe the size of a golf ball, a bit bigger maybe. But yeah, quite sweet, but the skin's quite bitter if you eat the skin as well. But yeah, fruits prolifically. I need to cut some of this dead dieback off. But
Did you do anything with the shape so that it's not going up high to deliberately keep it low? Has it grown like this?
No,
naturally?
I've pretty much left it. I just trimmed the edges so I can mow around it.
So it's quite a good height for harvesting, isn't it?
Yeah. But I mean, they can get much bigger trees. Here, a double grafted pear. We've got a good crop on it this year. Last year was pretty poor.
Oh, they're nice red ones.
But it's double grafted, but I can't remember what varieties they were. Yeah. Oh, you could eat a little bit, a couple of mouthfuls out of that one. So on here I've got these 3 Rainbow Valley pawpaws. There's 1, 2, 3. The centre, this middle one broke out, and there's some wind probably last summer sometime. Yeah. Oh.
So they'll pick it up.
They don't die very easily.
Oh, it's got too
So
many
yeah,
holes.
that's last year's one. The slugs love them. So just this one. So this is one I get off a contact I was given for a garden club, and they just hang one per tree, on an apple tree, and so so in the top 10%. So this year, all of the new one. This is an old one. Yeah, I've had no cotton moth problems since I've been using these. Just one per tree, simple as that. This is an almond, which I put in years ago, thinking, oh yeah, I'll have almonds. And it would always blossom well, but it never really set a lot of fruit. And they were always a pain. I never got anything worth eating off it. So a couple of years ago I put a passion fruit up it, thinking I'll use it as a frame for my passion fruit. But it grew out this side and it's collapsed that branch, so it's hanging over there.
How old would the almond be?
Old?
Yeah, the tree.
Would be 8 to 10 years old. Yeah. So you can see a few almonds up on the end of this branch. There's a few dotted on it.
They look like apricots, don't they? And
Yeah.
this is the quinoa.
They've got 2 lots of shells though. So you've got the first shell and then you've got a second shell. So you've got 2 layers before you get to the kernel that you eat. And I never got
So how many nuts are in that?
just the one.
But there's just one.
Just one kernel
Okay.
in each, just like an apricot.
It's
Yeah.
quite high maintenance.
Yeah. So I know it's not worth my effort. So yeah, I'll put it, use it as a frame for my passion fruit. So yeah, that one's cropped really well last year. You can see it's got lots coming as always.
It might have been a dud. Maybe you could put a new almond here.
Well, it's more probably the environment. You know, it's probably not quite cold enough or warm enough or too humid or I don't know, whatever. We'll zigzag down this patch
Is this
here.
there for the bees?
Yep, so I'll leave, in summertime I'll leave this bit for the bees just because it's less to mow and we get a lot of stuff that the bees like in here, particularly the plantain for the pollen. So then I'll put their lavenders in for the bees as well just because I supposed to thought what should I do with my ground. I'll put some row of lavenders in here so it's normally live with bees, usually in the afternoons once it's warmed up a bit. Another thing I learned about flowers and bees is that flowers don't always have nectar and pollen, like they have nectar glands, and those glands will only produce nectar above certain temperatures or certain humidity levels or certain times of the day. And so, like in the morning, there won't be many bees on here, but by the afternoon when it's warmed up, you know, the nectar glands will secrete the nectar, and then the bees just gorge all afternoon. A lot of the flowers don't do anything until the sun's up or until it's above a certain temperature. So there's not many bees now, but you know, later on this afternoon there will be lots of bees on those. Right, so this is an apricot, and the next one's an apricot, which haven't done particularly well. That one's got a reasonable crop on it this year. I pruned them really hard last year because they're getting too big and not really producing. This one's got a few on it. That one's not so bad. I think that one's a Travat. I can't remember what variety this one is.
What was that one, sorry?
That one I think is the Travat
Yeah.
variety. I can't remember what apricot that one is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember that one. Behind you is a Billington plums. And I put a Billington in because those 2 end ones are black satin peachcocks. And the label says that it pollinates best with a Japanese plum. And I only recently found out that a Billington is a Japanese variety of plum. So I put that in there to aid the pollination in my plum cots because the plum cots have never really shed a lot of fruit compared to my other plums. So I'm hoping that will help. When I first planted this up, I had several other peaches and nectarines and they've all gone down the way of silverleaf.
So once you get it, it's just hard to
Apparently once you get
rid
it,
of it.
you've got it. It's like AIDS. You know,
Yeah,
you
and then
can't
it
get
might
rid of
pass on to other
And
trees.
yeah, it spreads, so
Okay.
you've got to cut them out before it spreads and then burn whatever you cut out. Or
Yeah.
get rid of it off your property.
So the leaf changes colour,
Yep,
like a
so
silvery.
You can look at that one and I can show you the silverness
Okay.
of it, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is first fruit, so I'm hoping they'll fruit, so I'll get some peach cots. It's dropped a lot of its older leaves, and I see a lot of fruit on the ground already. My granddaughter counted them once about 3 weeks ago, and there was 100 and something, but I can see there ain't 100 and something anymore.
So if you save the seed and germinate it, is it a peach cot?
I
What
assume,
grows?
I'm told that stone fruit grow true to type, yeah. So,
Okay.
yes, that'd be my understanding, that you'll get a peach cot. That's a Japanese raisin tree, which I've known about for years, and I've never bothered getting one until I read the label last year, and it says, flowers profusely in spring and has with a hum, the buzz and hum of bees or something on the label. So I thought, oh, bees, I'll get it for my bees, if nothing else. So there's no evidence of flowers on it yet, so maybe next year. This end tree is a golden queen peach, which is it's got silverleaf. It got it a couple of years ago. I cut the main branch off, but the rest of it's come through this year with it. So it's going to get the axe, the chainsaw. All these leaves have come off. So it's quite silvery compared to a younger one. I probably can't tell in this light. But it gets a distinctive silver sheen to it. And it's I think it's a bacteria that you can't treat, apparently. Citrus, you're supposed to prune citrus in winter when the borer beetles aren't, when they're away and hibernating, because if you prune them in summer and leave an open wound, the borer beetles will lay eggs into that, and then you get borer in your citrus, which you invariably get anyway, ultimately. But yeah, painting the stumps helps stop other insects laying eggs and bugs and diseases getting in there and stuff on the big one. I don't bother, like if I prune that one I wouldn't bother, but yeah, anything bigger than sort of your thumb, I'll typically paint with something just to protect it.
What's this white?
So that's an old horizontal beehive
Beehive,
that's been
right.
decommissioned because it's warped and the frames don't fit in it anymore. So again, it's destined for the bonfire over here one day when I get round to dismantling it. But it was a horizontal beehive, so rather than having the vertical ones like over there, you have them horizontal, which would be ideal for me now given my inability to bend over and lift heavy things since my surgery, but
Could turn into a little planter or something. Planter box.
maybe it'll probably rot though because I have used untreated wood being a beehive. You know, you don't want chemicals around the bees and your honey.
Yeah.
But no, the beauty of horizontal is that you're not bending over and lifting boxes and stuff. But the downside is that they don't make much honey because bees relies on the rising heat to keep the wax soft and help dehydrate the moisture out of the nectar they bring back. And there's no vertical heat rising in a horizontal hive, so they can't dehydrate their honey, and it makes working their wax harder, so they don't make much honey. I never got honey off that hive. Even though that could be, you know, I have 20 frames of bees in there, you know, you have 30, 40,000 bees in there, still no honey. They just didn't bother making it, just too much hard work. So, yeah, so the bottom box is always what they call their brood nest. That's where all the babies and the new ones are developing, and they keep it warm. So they keep it at 35 or 36 degrees. So that heat rises, so the top box is where they store their honey, and that heat helps keep the wax soft and, you know, when they're building all the new comb, and the heat helps dehydrate the moisture out of the nectar to make it a thick honey. And without the rising heat of a horizontal hive, they can't make honey so well. It's harder work, so they don't bother. So yeah, and again, it's one side's warped, we've got a little viewing thing there, and so the frames don't fit anymore, so it's decommissioned for now. It'll end up on the fire here one day. This here is a Caliandra portorocensis, which has the flowers open in the evenings and night time into like little puffballs. So all these will spring out open, and but the bees love it, so in the evenings it's full of bees. So I grow it for the bees, and it's scented. You can give it a nice sniff. You sniff up to it, and again, only in night times. There'll be nothing on it now, but in the evenings, again, those scent glands and nectaries activate in the evenings and night times. So it's pollinated by moths, bees in the evenings, and it tickles your nose when you try and sniff it. You know, when they all open up and you give it a good sniff, it tickles your nose. It's quite funny. But yeah, so that's there for the bees.